Lee Griffin, Assistant Finance Director.
Okay. I got some information from a listener who was concerned, a former CPA, obviously, because he knows all this stuff and I certainly don't, so I'm kind of going from his notes, about the unassigned fund balance for the city. Supposed to be right around 7%, so that, according to the letter that I got, that we can maintain our excellent bond ratings. And as I look at from 2012 to 2015, it kind of ranged from a little over 4%, and then 2015, 4.3%. I was wondering how that is going to affect our viability, basically, as a risk for these bond funds, so that we don't have to pay a higher interest rate.
I don't see it as a great risk at the moment. Standard & Poor's is the rating agency that we've used on our last couple of general obligation bonds, and they know that this reserve unassigned fund balance target is a goal of ours that has been somewhat fluctuating based on the variety of economic factors that the city deals with. We are not going out for another general obligation bond for I don't know how long. That would be an administration question. So they don't have, and they would normally be rating us when we would go out for that type of bonding. We don't have a lot of other targets that we aren't meeting, so there's no reason for them to come out of the blue and have a concern about this.
Okay, so as it stands right now, from your point of view in the finance department, that Missoula is not in any danger of suffering a reduction, or I should say an increase in interest rates because of a reduced bond rating?
Not at the moment. We do not see that.
Okay. Could that be a possibility in the future if things don't get better and that percentage doesn't, at least gradually rise toward that 7% rate?
Well, that is something that we are endeavoring to do, and please keep in mind that this is actually an internally decided upon target. So
this wasn't, in other words, this wasn't mandated upon you by the bonding agencies?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm noting here that the administration, at the bottom of your letter, it says the administration is asking the general fund departments to cut their budgets by $285,000 and also proposing a little over 5% increase in city taxes in order to give a modest cost of living allowance, municipal election, a new assistant judge, safety equipment, and a roof for the animal control building. And I wanted to ask you, has that gone forward? Has it been passed? Or is the City Council going to put that aside for a while until things get a little bit better?
So that was from June referral to City Council when we began the process of creating the FY 2016 budget. So that increase in city taxes figure, for example, it actually turned out to be lower than that initial estimated 5.32%. But we did ask the general fund departments to cut their budgets in FY 2016 by that amount.
And has that occurred?
Yes. This was a baseline across-the-board cut to budgets that happened in addition to requesting that departments be very frugal throughout FY 2016.
Okay. So as we go forward, Lee, and let's just say best case scenario for the city that the mountain water case is decided in the city's favor and the city begins the process of taking over the water company. How is that going to affect what we've talked about before as far as these unassigned fund balances, or basically the overall financial health of the city? Because there's going to be quite a few expenses that the city's going to have to take on to try to take over administration of the water company should that occur.
Well, once we prevail with the water trial and enter into acquisition financing to purchase the system, the city will have the opportunity to pay itself back, and that will increase that unassigned fund balance.
How does that work, paying itself back?
So If you sort of think of them as two different organizations, you could sort of think of the water system as a subsidiary of the city in general. We are creating an enterprise fund to account for the water system. We currently account for our wastewater system as an enterprise fund, for example. And the city general fund has the majority of city activities: police, fire, city council, administration, and so forth. Well, the water system would take out a loan, or, to create the enterprise and purchase the system. And within that loan, bond, whatever financing structure is entered into, it would pay back the city general fund for those expenses that it has already paid.
Now, does that include the legal fees that everyone's been talking about right now? I believe they're between $10 and $12 million.
I believe you're estimating the legal fees from the other attorneys. The city has not spent that amount in legal fees. Okay,
but if the city is successful, could those charges be given to the city and require them to pay it?
Yes, that would be a determination at the district court level.
Okay. So should that happen, how would that affect us, our overall city's financial health, as a city resident myself?
I don't believe it will. The water system acquisition financing, which would include paying those legal fees, would be paid for by existing water user rates, as I understand it.
Okay. Let me ask you this. As you do your job every day, how do you see the city's financial health moving forward?
Well, I see the city's financial health as actually increasing and becoming healthier. And the primary thing that I will point to will be the development that we see happening around Missoula. Now, I don't have the information in front of me, but we do have on our website, in the Development Services Department, reports on the building permits, new building permits, and so forth that are happening in Missoula, and that has just been increasing month after month as we come out of the recession.
And so that means basically because of fees and things that the city charges that there'll be more money coming in to the city treasury.
There's also increase in growth, new businesses with new taxable values. For example, this isn't quite a new growth piece, but Community Medical Center went from being a nonprofit exempt company to being a for-profit company subject to taxation. That will be coming on the tax rolls. The new Stockman Bank that is going in downtown with the associated parking structure and, I believe, commercial space for commercial businesses in there as well. That would be coming on the tax rolls once that is complete.